Self-advocacy is a way to broaden your possibilities.
Walking the old road, watching the same show, that's just got no use for me.
Imagine not being able to speak. I didn't speak till I was 10 years old. People thought I was stupid because I couldn't speak. I wasn't stupid, I just couldn't get the words out. So I became a very good listener. I learned a lot about people just because I paid attention to what they wanted to say, not what I wanted to say. This film's about listening to people with disabilities who are or are becoming self-advocates. This is a personal journey for me. Growing up with autism, my opportunities were limited by society's low expectations with someone with IDD. I was judged by what I could not do, not but what I could do. But thanks to the people who advocated for my future, I'm now a filmmaker. Documentary films evolve. Truth emerges. And truth, like reality, is a bit different for each person. But there's one thing we all have in common. We all want to be happy. So that's where we start.
I really love my friends and my family.
I do love dancing a lot.
Well, I knew that what was important to me was to be able to freely create.
Been through some hard days, ready for changing, build a life that we both want to see.
The school teacher showed me a checklist of 500 behaviors. What do you want your son to be able to do at the end of the year? And to check off the 5 most important behaviors. But how could I choose between count to 10 or read 50 sight words? They both seem important for his future, but also not important at all. So I replied, I want the same for my son as for my daughter. I just want him to be happy.
So how do you figure out what makes you happy? We asked Brian Long, father of Connor Long, an accomplished actor with Down syndrome.
What's the secret sauce? Well, there's no secret sauce. I mean, it's kind of the fundamentals. Education, diet, a broad exposure to arts and culture and travel and all of those kind of classical things. And so we're always trying to find ways to expose him to new things, to see if it's something that appeals to him and that he has some affinity for. It takes a lot of work. There's no joking, getting around that. We don't know what's going to stick. We don't know what he's going to run off with. But sometimes we hear or see snippets of those things that he's gotten it and internalized it.
Connor Long is a critically acclaimed actor, public speaker, and athlete. His remarkable success comes from a very deep understanding of who he is and who he wants to become.
2 households, both so like in dignity, and fair Verona, where we lay our scene. I'm good at acting, I have a great memory, I love to be in the moment, and the camera loves me because I am honest.
In the spring of his senior year, a call was put out for a young man with Down syndrome to be in a short film called Mention, and he got the part. And it turned out to be an important film about World War II and the hiding of a young man with a disability through the Nazi occupation. He really loved the entire thing. And then he was on a film set, and long days, long nights, cold nights out on location, doing scenes over and over, sometimes 24 times over, to get everything right.
And he enjoyed every aspect of it.
He was a natural, which we weren't expecting. And he really loved the entire thing. So we looked for more opportunities.
The biggest question is, are you going to accept that opportunity or not?
Knowing what's important to you and understanding your needs and dreams builds your confidence so you can start to take responsibility for your life. Julian Wayne has used his friendly, inquisitive nature to become a powerful spokesperson.
So the biggest thing for a person with intellectual disabilities is people that recognize your strengths and skills and where you are.
Julian really enjoyed connecting with people, and widely and also deeply. He desired to build relationship with people, and that's why make him such a strong advocate, because he deeply wanted to connect and get people the best out of them.
Find something that you like first. Say that you want to be involved. You want to learn those skills. Or it might be just doing something outside your comfort zone. A lot of it is just having something to do. Like there's a sense of purpose. When there's something you focus on that and you can build friends around that, boom. There's an inroad for me to be part of that disability community.
As a child, Sam was obviously very, very bright. But because he had IDD, he scored very low on IQ tests. And the school system had very low expectations for him. No one thought he could take mainstream science and math in high school. Even in college, we had to fight like crazy to get him into science classes. Now he has 2 college degrees in science. So in the long run, he won. But why did we have to fight so hard to get him there? Why was Sam judged by someone else's perception of reality, not his reality?
I think one of the most difficult things about children and adults with IDD is that not enough time is spent really finding out where their strengths lie. The conversations seem to always orbit around the idea of a deficiency and how do we address this person's deficiency, and we start to define that person by their deficiency. But if we concentrate on his areas of strength, then we will start to see that he's going to be eating away at the edges of his weaknesses through those strengths. We have recognized his strength, that he is approaching those areas where he may not be as strong with strong self-esteem. He feels confident about what he can do because he's operating from a position of strength. And that really has affected his outlook and his appreciation of education, but also just the world.
So when Sam was deciding what to major in college, he decided that he wanted to major in digital cinematography. That was his decision. We thought that was great because it was going to help him with one of his major disabilities, which was his inability to communicate. But when he got there, he was so good at it. He was so good at it because of his abilities. And he had made that decision based upon what he thought he was good at. As a parent, sometimes we make decisions based upon what we think our kids are unable to do, when we should be looking at what they can do.
I'm through with the old road, watching the same show. That's just got no use for
When
me.
you're disabled, people are afraid of you because you're different. Often you're excluded from the kinds of activities that help you discover your strengths. So it's critical to create a community around you of people who can help you.
Every once in a while someone says yes. I can't stand up straight. Everyone sees what I can't do. When my fencing coach, I saw what I could do. He put a sword in my hand and he taught me how to stand up straight. I worked so hard at it. I wanted to say, thank you for challenging me, becoming more than I thought I could be.
I try to coach my adaptive students much the same way I teach anyone else to fence. Honestly, we didn't really treat him much differently. We just let him make his own mistake. Fencing will coach you what you're doing wrong pretty quickly. A lot of input is at the end of a sword.
It was a hard experience, especially when he was younger. I felt like I kind of was that helicopter mom hovering because I don't want him to fail. I don't want him to feel bad. I realized that for him to grow up to be a successful adult and to be more independent, I have to let him try things on his own. People look at him differently. And so I love the fact that he really doesn't feel like he's different yet. And I want him to keep that in power and and become the advocate for himself and not care about what anybody else thinks, and just do what he wants to do in his life.
Brian David Collins is a musician. He has been blind since birth. Recently, he decided to start his own music label, an act of self-determination that he wanted to do for a long time. What helped him take a leap to creative freedom? Someone who believed in him.
Dana, my wife, makes me very happy, and it had resulted in a new sound. And
Brian has this inner rebel inside him who tells him that he can do anything. And he's right, he can. And he's brave and amazing, and he just needs to believe in himself. Brian, when he steps behind the keyboard, I mean, everything is different about him because he just is music and he's so comfortable in that place. And anybody who sees him behind the keyboard would have no question about his capabilities. I help him see that that's who he is all the time, that he doesn't need to hold his head down or apologize for who he is, because he is that rock star.
If you can communicate ideas that you have, and if you can see how your ideas may positively affect others and how you may work with others to create a vision that you have in your own mind, you can advocate for yourself. You can make things happen. The challenge was broadening the circle of trust. You're friends with them. You're interested in what they dream and what their passions. Figure out what you can bring to the table and what you can do to help them. And maybe just by being part of something, you create a family around you.
It is about working together to accomplish a goal, and sometimes your role in that might be, I'm the person that's going to help elevate other people. And that's a huge leap when it comes to a child or an adult with IDD, is to like have that breakthrough moment where they're not just totally in this for what they can get out of it, that they actually have like this understanding of, oh, I can help other people. Not only my own self-advocate, but I have a role to play in society as well, and that includes helping other people. Then that's a huge breakthrough, because that will help you get a job. That will help you keep friends. It will build successful relationships, and you will be a happier person.
But the other thing is what self-advocacy is understanding the other person. That you may not be able to agree or disagree, but still share your point of view. So let's just say, how do you support somebody with a disability? There's 5 different ways. Well, can we get all 5 of them? No. But having that balance and understanding to reach over that aisle and say, hey, I may not agree, but I understand where you're coming from. Tell me more.
I've done some thinking, that ship was sinking. I won't go down with the waves.
The ability to reach over the aisle, find people who can help you to communicate your ideas, and align your vision with other people's dreams are all important components of the leadership skills you need to build a community around you. So advocacy advocate Hannah Leather has wisdom to share about how to demonstrate leadership when people think you're different.
It's all about trusting each other. People are afraid. I represent for the unknown factor, so it is easy to say no. You have to figure out how to get people to say yes. You have to show them that it is better to include than exclude you. I just tell people what I need. I give them an easy problem to fix. It makes them feel good, so they are more likely to say yes for the next thing that I ask for. Their relationship builds from there.
Talent, leadership, communications, community are all powerful enablers, but it's not enough. Society's rules are set up to serve the needs of the majority of the population. As outliers, people with disabilities need to figure out how to break the rules so we can take charge of our lives. Some of these rules are explicit and some are implicit. But it's up to us to figure out how to set up our own rules for how we want to live, work, and play.
I think one of my fears for him is that he'll be underestimated by people. That's something we wrestle with. I mean, we know he has gifts. We want people to know that he has a substantial intellect. that doesn't just happen on its own. It takes a lot of work to look for opportunities to negotiate schedules and supports, making it happen. We're clear to tell people he's highly supported, but he's very good at performance. He loves it, he's good at it, he wants to do it, and we're willing to support it.
It's not about fear, it's about courage. Yeah. Courage is just by expressing yourself in front of others. So that one day, there's no way you're gonna fear. You just need to have courage and faith.
I do trust in life. If you want to be a star one day, then you will, because it has always been my dream, my goal. I do love to be a star of the So You Think You Can Dance.
At age 5, this brand new show came on, first season, first episode, So You Think You Can Dance. And she said, I'm going on that show. She never let us forget it. It surprised me over that time period of 13 years that she never let it go. Never missed an episode, ever. That was a ritual every week. We had to watch it. She never let go of that dream, and it showed me that when she sets a goal, when she sets a dream up, she's going to work her tail off until she gets there, and she does. She works hard. She has surprised me over and over because she sticks to her goals. Going to culinary school, she has talked about that for years. I'm going to go to culinary school, and I thought, how's she going to do that with, I know there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of, skills involved within that. I'm already still paying tuition for my son, but then she got a scholarship from Ruby's Rainbow. An opportunity opened up and she took it.
I am really happy going to the culinary school. I have my new goal. Every day I learned something new. So I be ready.
We manage those expectations by not putting, a huge time limit on it. We look at what the progress is, what from day to day.
Vigorously. You know what vigorously means? Really hard and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We keep it pretty simple, and we usually write things down. See, we have a whiteboard. Those are her go-tos where she goes and looks at, okay, this is what I need to accomplish, or this is what I need to learn today or this week.
We do lots of planning and then we move forward.
Plans make things happen. The best things about plans is that they make it visible. If you have a plan, everybody sees what's going to happen. It helps people understand what you're trying to do and how that can help you. So it makes people live up to their promises. Plans are how you change things.
Good plans, modifying the rules, realistic expectations, setting up a timeline that works for you, and most importantly, allowing yourself to fail. You need to learn from your mistakes.
The expectation for Jack is really that he will help himself unless he needs help. We will ask Jack to do as much as he can until he cannot do it. It's important that he understand, just like every other kid, what failure is and what it feels like, so that he knows where his limits are.
I can try and prepare Jack for all of the exigencies of the outside world in every way possible, but that's really not feasible. Peer learning is the way in which he's going to be able to navigate some of those decisions. Your peers are going to be hopefully looking out for your interests, but they're also looking out for their own interests. You're also in a kind of relationship with them that means that you're going to have to learn with them. And that's really important because that kind of experience is where good decision making actually comes from.
People who are good problem solvers are good at stating what the problem is. They see what's really going on. They're not interpreting reality. But for someone like me, whose senses are often scrambled by my autism, my reality is often different than most other people's. So how do you teach someone whose reality is different how to assess a situation and figure out what's really going on? When I was little, I was homeschooled, which gave me the freedom to explore nature a lot. My classroom was in the river, in the mountains, and the tops of tall trees. Nature taught me what was real, so I became a very good problem solver.
How many kids are given the freedom to explore these days, especially kids with disabilities? They're so overprotected, whether we want them to be or not. We need to loosen the ties and not be afraid of failure. Let them pursue their dreams.
If I fall down, pick me back up. Dust me off, but don't turn me back. Let me live the life I want to live.
Let me be me.
I'm through with the old road, watching the same show. That's just got no use for me.